My brothers and sisters, how many of you had one or more dreams last night? How many of you? I'm the only one that dreamt last night? Jordan, no dreams last night? Well, that's what the eggnog and brandy will do for you, huh? Okay. But for those of us who dreamt last night, how many of us believe our dreams? Okay, you got a couple of hands up there, folks who believe their dreams. I'm asking that question because the angel appeared to Mary while she was in prayer to announce to her God's plan with her help for salvation to enter into our world. Mary was awake in her room in prayer when the angel that we identify as Gabriel came to her and shared with her the good news of salvation. Joseph got his message while he was asleep, dreaming. I always found that to be significant because it required of Joseph a different type of faith. Mary had to believe and trust in the angel. Joseph had to not only believe that the angel was speaking to him through his dreams, he had to believe the dream. But let's go back a bit, because I've never thought of this before this weekend. How did Joseph find out that his wife-to-be was pregnant? How did he find out? We can tell from this passage that I just shared with you, either he didn't believe what Mary said about the angel coming to her, or he hadn't heard it at all. How did he find out? Was he the last to know? So I was looking at a commentary and they said that he might have found out through some of the women in the village. Maybe some of those women were relatives of his. You see, every woman that was of age and had a cycle, if she was of the right age, past puberty and before menopause, every month they had to undergo ritual purity rites. So all the women who were during that period of time in their cycle would come together and be purified. And all of a sudden, guess who didn't show up? Mary. Now, they knew that Mary was betrothed to Joseph. Now, for those of you who don't understand that, at that time, a person was betrothed because one family got together, the father of one family got together, the father of the bride-to-be got together with the father of the groom-to-be, and they made a contract. Yes, my daughter will marry your son. So technically, they were set aside. Technically, they were married, but they were not living together. They were betrothed. So they knew that Mary was betrothed to Joseph, but they also knew that Joseph and Mary were not living under the same roof. So that one of them talked to Joseph's mom, or talked to Joseph's sister, or maybe one of them was Joseph's mom or sister. Somebody told Joseph, guess what? Mary is pregnant. The reading tells us that because Joseph was a righteous man, a good man, he was going to divorce her. He had no choice. If he was true to his religious beliefs as a good Jewish man, he had no choice but to divorce her, because he could not bring into his family the child of another man. We don't know whether or not Mary and Joseph believed in the resurrection. Not all Jews believed in the resurrection. There was only a certain group of Jews that believed in the resurrection. Many Jews believed that a person lived on only through his children. So maybe Joseph thought there's some man out there who's impregnated Mary, who deserves to know that this child who is coming into the world is his child, not mine. So his reasons could have not only been religious in the sense that he knew he could not bring a child of another man into his family. After all, he was from David's line. But he also maybe felt some man out there needs to know this. We know he wasn't vindictive, because if he was vindictive, he had another option following the Jewish law. He could have exposed her, and if he had exposed her, she was literally dead. She would have been stoned to death. And that fetus in her womb would have never saw the light of day. So we know he was righteous. He had to follow the law. But he decided he was going to be merciful. The law told him what to do. That we call that the just thing to do. In his heart, his merciful heart, he decided to do something else, which was to divorce her quietly. And then he had the dream. And the angel said to him, what I can't help but believe, he had heard from Mary herself. He had to confront Mary. And Mary had to tell him what she had told her parents. And now, after the angel appeared to him, he believed what she had probably already told him. Joseph. I see him as a model. We mention Mary as a model for us, but so is Joseph. A man who responded in faith to God in spite of all of his doubts. We have to assume he had significant doubts. And a man who responded with mercy rather than with justice. As we prepare for Christmas, we can use Joseph as a model as well as our Mother Mary. Faith, in spite of our doubts, to try to practice mercy over justice. Amen?